Hello, dear viewers. Thank you, Yaroslav, for the invitation to your project. My organization is All Ukrainian Assembly of Youth. Just few weeks ago, we celebrated our 3 years of our establishment. Nevertheless, we made a lot of projects as local projects and all Ukrainian projects. But our main project is modeling of United Nations. It's like a model play of a role play of United Nations as in New York. They're based. So we are doing here in Ukraine on base of Verkhovna Rada and universities of Ukraine. So our last project in which we were partners was in Azerbaijan, Baku. A few days ago we came to Ukraine from Baku, and on the invitation of Israeli organization and Rauf Mardiev, we were visiting this wonderful city, Baku, and took part in this project. The project was called Understand the Differences, Act on Commonalities. There were participants from Ukraine, Turkey, Georgia, Azerbaijan, Estonia, Croatia, and all. And we were doing different acts on how to understand the different cultures of each countries. So our main activity is based on developing a new generation of new people, how to understand each other, how to build a new society, because it's very important nowadays to build a new society with new values of democracy, values of love, and values of peace. Once it is said that the most hardest times ever is times of changes. Ukraine is overliving such times now. So we are living in times of changing, and as we all see, these changes are not to our, are not in our part, because we've lost the Crimea, and it was a very quick loss, I think, and one of our neighbors want to get our eastern regions, and it's also a big problem. And as for me, the youth generation had to do everything what in their power, just to show that we do not separate the West and the East. We do not separate the North and the South. We all one united country. We all Ukrainians, and we don't have Eastern people or Western people. We have Ukrainian people. And what can youth do is to show this, commonly, that we are common, that we are not separated, and we do not want to be separated. We want to live in one whole Ukraine, one stable Ukraine that is in prosperity, Ukraine that have European views. We are not, Georgians. We are not bribes. So we are European country, and Ukrainian youth is widespread, and Ukrainian youth is a smart youth. And we have to show this, and have to show that we are all united, and we do not want to be separated. About government and about the whole situation in Ukraine. As we know, yes, Ukraine overlived a revolution, and new government came, and when a normal process, this new government should prepare a new election of the president, new elections to our supreme government, and new election of the whole branches of the government. But we have times when Ukraine under one step of the war. So it's very hard in this situation, it's very hard to organize this process. So the election campaign is already started, and I asked God to be the election of the president, and after that, maybe the situation in Ukraine will be in more some stable than it is now. So the government nowadays should do everything that in their power to make the elections, and only after that we can speak about the next steps. So at these times, at this period, they didn't show they really what they can. So they're now preparing for the elections, I think. The Orange and this revolution was started by the youth. It's for truth, because the Orange Revolution was started by the youth from Kiev Mogila Academy, which I finished. And youth is the most powerful movement. Yes, youth is the most power in all times and in all places. So only youth can make changes.
Yeah, Andriy?
Yeah, what I want to say, I just remembered about what our government not does, but what they didn't do. They take into consideration the Communist Party. The Communist Party. After the Maidan, they didn't vote for any of the proposition in Verkhovna Rada. They didn't vote at all. And they are not banned. And that is a question to our government. Why do they not ban this Communist Party? I ask the government.
Okay, thank you. Andriy?
Yes, there are a lot of people who want to be mayor, who wanted to go to Kiev, who want to be deputies. But what I want to say is that if these all people, if the future president or if this future mayor will forget what was on Maidan, will forget of how many people were killed and were murdered, all Ukrainians will not forgive this for the future president or the future mayor. So I'm always repeating this phrase of Mikhailo Saakashvili, that the real president of the country and the real mayor of the city should do love this country and should do love this city. Only if it will be so, the country and the city will prosper.